Roberto Assagioli, in Italy called Roberto Assagioli, autobiography, fragments of an autobiography, Assagioli in his own words. How did we get to this point, Piero?
Well, it happened this way, that an American physician, Eugene Smith, had the idea of offering Assagioli to write his biography. And Assagioli was quite happy about it. So Eugene came to Italy a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, and started interviewing Assagioli, and he recorded the interviews. And then at some point, I think the last interviews were in July or August even, 1974, just a few days before Assagioli's death. So the biography is interrupted.
Interrupted, but I would say unfinished, in terms that it's infinite, doesn't have an end. It's an endless biography. And I said a fragments, and this is just a fragment where you can see the whole. And I was very struck by a sentence that came to Assagioli's mind when he was 12 years old, and he has such an enlightenment. He just said, I want to be always present to myself. Just pointing out that the element of presence, of a presence as a self or as a soul, is the major task of his life, besides the achievements, but that's the basis. It's like an old man telling his grandchildren the story of his life in a very soft voice, without any drama or idealization. Very simple, essential, as he really was. What do you think, Piero?
Very simple and yet full of things happening, because this first part of the autobiography, which was then interrupted, situates Assagioli in the beginning of last century in Italy, in the Italian scene. There's also a trip to Russia about which nobody knows. It's quite surprising. Yeah. And also to Germany. And you understand Assagioli better if you see him in the milieu in which he grew up, as an intellectual, as a philosopher, as a mystic.
That is an amazing cultural and historical background. And we're not aware enough how Assagioli was present in this culture. And I was saying, differently from Jung, who started his autobiography when he was 86, I guess Assagioli's age. And he started as, my life is a self-realization of the unconscious. While Assagioli's biography is not a realization or a phenomenology of the unconscious, but is representing a life as a self or as a soul, as you prefer. It's very essential and deep and high at the same time.
Well, you can understand from his words how he was very much himself, even when he was a child, a young boy going up the mountain. He started going up the mountain very early, and then later understood the symbolical significance of going up the mountain. So, and also of he had some problem with his foot, and he was frail, and he used this problem in order to become stronger. You can see already his struggle and his victories from the time he was a young man.
Yeah, yeah. And that's amazing, because that's practical psychosynthesis. Blessing the obstacles, that was a physical obstacle, and he overcame. And I would just want to conclude with something that really struck me at the end, because we know Assagioli was everything, but he was mainly a psychiatrist, a psychotherapist, and then he created a general model, psychosynthesis, a general model which goes beyond psychotherapy. But he never spoke a lot about himself, never mentioned details of his life. He was pretty quiet. No much self-disclosure by Roberto. But that was therapeutic for him, because at the end, his last words are, I wrote it down, I feel better now. Look at the blossoming. So just this biography, after telling us the story of his life, it just focuses on the present moment, admiring with wonder the blossoming here and now. So that's why I considered this an endless biography, because it never ends, because it's a process. There's what he says at the end, that like Freud at the end, one of the last books was Unendliche Analyse, an endless analysis, and Assagioli said the same about psychosynthesis. It's an endless process, and I don't think I'm done. I don't think I've finished. But look at the blossoming, and I feel better now. And this is wonderful. I feel better too now.
Let me just add a thought of gratitude to Eugene Smith, who made this possible. And not only did he do that, he was very upset, of course, when Assagioli died and his own work of writing biography was interrupted. But he came to Italy after Assagioli's death, and he interviewed many of Assagioli's acquaintances and students. And also, all this has been transcribed and given to us by the family. And I hope one day it will come out in a book.
Oh yeah, we hope so. We hope so. And we received all this by Tom Yeomans, and gratitude to Tom as well, who's a major student, one of the oldest students of Assagioli in the good old days.
So many warm wishes to all of you, and we hope you will like this booklet, these 50 pages.
Yeah, we appreciate any feedback and really enjoy it. Thank you.